What's up, guys? It's your boy Dante Miller, and we are here at San Diego Comic-Con about to talk to Legion M about Defiant, a Robert Smalls story, so stay tuned. Please.
Yeah, my name is Michael Boulware Moore. I am an associate producer on the Defiant project and the great-great-grandson of Robert Smalls.
Oh, that is amazing. So I was about to ask what made you help a part of the project, but you're the great-great-great-grandson, so I think you just wanted to tell the story.
Yeah, I wanted to get the story out and wanted to make sure that the story was told correctly. Really, Rob Edwards, the writer, and I spent a lot of time making sure that there was real integrity to the history and to the story. And so, I just am thrilled with where we are with the graphic novel and thinking about what's next.
So my question is, how did this all start? Because Robert Smalls' history is not history we get taught in school. It kind of gets swept under the rug. It's not something we're told about, but it's something we should be told about because he's the reason why we have public schools. He's the reason why we have actually a lot of things. He's been a congressman, he's done many great things as a black man, but as a man in general in America. So what made you want to tell this story in general?
Well, I think it started, the company, the movie production company, Legion M. There have been memes going on about Robert Smalls for years and years. People saying, well, hey, we've got all these movies out here. We can't get one movie about Robert Smalls. And so I think they saw that, and I think they sort of tested the idea with the Legion M community, and there was great excitement and energy. And so I think they then started moving forward to try to get it going. So it's a story that it's an amazing story of all the different things that he did, and I think it has applicability, relevance to today. Someone allowing themselves to dream big dreams and then having the audacity to just go after it and make those things happen. And so I think it's a wonderful story, and I just am honored to be a part of it.
So not just as a young black man in America, but for any person in America, what is the main message you want from them to take away from this story?
Well, I think one is that this is a part of American history that perhaps folks aren't familiar with, but it's a part of our history, and we need to know it. He did amazing things. He was the first African American to command a United States naval vessel. He just did so many things. One factoid, I could go through so many, but I'll leave you with one. Robert Smalls, after he delivered the planter to the United States, and got his freedom, he was taken up to Washington to see President Lincoln. And he convinced President Lincoln to allow formerly enslaved men like him into the United States war effort, into the Civil War effort. About 200,000 men joined the effort, and some historians say that the United States does not prevail in the Civil War without that act, without those 200,000 men. So, look, if Robert Smalls is responsible in even the smallest part for, the history that we have today, I'm proud of that, and I think that's a part of history that we need to tell others.
My last question for you. So with this amazing story, how did you help Rob keep the humanity, show the humanity in Robert Smalls? Because not many people know, but his slave master's wife, she got dementia, and the only address she knew was the mansion that he bought, and he took her in and took care of her. So that takes a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion, a lot of humility. How did you help Rob show that kind of character in this story?
Well, first of all, kudos to you for knowing that part of the story. So I appreciate that. But no, I think, we had lots of conversations, and I became really comfortable with Rob and where he wanted to take the story. And, I think he adds a little bit of creative license and places to sort of, present it and package the history in a way that, particularly young viewers now in the graphic novel, sort of align with, but Rob wants to tell the story. He wants to tell it correctly. He wants the history to be correct. So I didn't have to worry much at all. Rob has done an amazing job.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you guys, and as a big fan and a big supporter, I can't wait to see this movie in the works.
Thank you. Me too.
Thank you. So can I get you to introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Paul Scanlon. I'm co-founder and CEO of Legion M.
Oh, nice to meet you. Nice
to meet you.
So, with you being the co-founder and CEO, what made you want to push this story to mainstream to get the world to know about it?
Yeah, it's a great story. I mean, it's a great question. So, I mean, this story came to us from our community. So, as you may know, Legion M is owned by a vibrant, engaged community of entertainment fans, and we listen to them. We produce movies and TV shows and series that our community wants to see made, and this was something that we were called upon by our community to say, hey, this person exists. He's a real life, American superhero. No one's ever told the story. Is there anything Legion M could do about it? That was probably 3 years ago. And, we took it on being pragmatic about it, saying, look, we'll try, but I just want to set expectations. There could be competing projects, but here we are. We're publishing a best-selling graphic novel. We've got Rob Edwards, screenwriter of Captain America, Brave New World, and Marvin Jones, and the great-great-grandson of Robert Smalls on the project. So, yeah, I guess you could say we're making progress.
So, with this being, to my knowledge, the first, I would call it a documentary comic book, because it's kind of telling a historic story.
Yeah, it's kind of like John Lewis's March,
In a sense, yeah.
So it's a graphic novel. It's told in an exciting, fun way, but it's also historically accurate. And we have a teacher's guide that goes with it for teachers and educators that want to incorporate it into their classroom.
So, is there a possibility we could see more stories being told in this format?
Yeah. In fact, this is the first volume. So, graphic novel, volume 1. And we have 2 more volumes of this story, telling more of the Robert Smalls story. But yeah, absolutely. After that, I know Rob's got a few other big, parts of history that he'd like to kind of put on paper.
Well, I definitely can't wait.
Yeah.
So I know this movie has been in the works since the beginning of Robert Smalls being talked.
Yep.
How close are we getting him to the big screen?
Yeah, we're making really good progress. I mean, we had actually hoped to be able to be making some announcements here, but Hollywood moves slowly, so we're coaxing it along. But I'm happy to report. I mean, I feel confident that a movie's going to get made, and we have absolutely incredible interest from the very highest levels of the entertainment industry, both with A-list Black directors and A-list talent that have an interest in playing Robert Smalls. So we don't have any formal announcements to make just yet, but yeah, because you got to you got to get the signatures before you make any announcements. But we're really close, and we're excited about how it's going.
Well, that is awesome. Well, as a big fan and a supporter, I can't wait to see it on a big screen.
All right, I appreciate
thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Enjoy your con.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
Sebastian Jones and the guys at Stranger, which is like, we're cooking something up. We're not going to tell you what it is. We're going to check it out. And then they showed us this, this Shaft cover. It was like, oh, that is
amazing.
Great. That is great. Because the first time we started pitching the idea of doing this as a graphic novel to Sebastian Jones, he says, I think he's Shaft. And I was like, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's exactly the way to take that story and make it current and relevant.
And honestly, that is a great way for us as an audience to take it, because we remember Shaft, especially as iconic as Samuel L. Jackson playing the later iteration.
Yep.
He's someone that we all can remember. So incorporating someone like Robert Smalls to Shaft, that is an amazing idea.
Oh, great.
But are we ready? All right. Okay. Can I get you to introduce yourself for the camera, please?
Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Edwards. I wrote Princess and the Frog, Treasure Planet, Captain America, Brave New World, and now I'm the writer of Defiant, the story of Robert Smalls.
Alrighty, so with you writing many great stories, from Kings of Kings, like you said, Princess and the Frog, many great stories.
Oh, good, thanks.
What what made you want to write this story? Because you usually do TV shows and films. What made you come over and write something for a comic book?
Right. Well, it's interesting because the first goal was, can we make a movie about this man? And if we're going to do it, how can we do it? Because you have to base it on a book. There has to be some kind of IP. You have to prove that the concept works. And a lot of times when you're telling the story of a slave, everybody's eyes glaze over right as soon as you start. So he said, okay, well, rather than basing it on any of the books that are around there, why don't I take a crack at it and do my own research, find the things that are relevant in the books that were there, and then try to give context to it, and tell it the way I would tell a movie. So we got Michael Bulwer Moore, who's hopefully you'll get to talk to, and he got to fill in some of the human aspects of Robert Smalls. And then I did a lot of research with Dr. Maisha Eatman over at Harvard University. She's a historian there, and and I think the final result is really wonderful. And I'm so glad it's flying off the shelves, and and it's doing everything it needs to do in order to get us to the point where we can make a movie.
So with the story so strong and impactful, what did you want to make sure, besides telling all of the strong points of him taking a gunship, bringing all of his people and his peoples along on that gunship, traveling through those waters, navigating,
disguised as the captain, going through the secret signals,
the secret signals,
oh my goodness,
learning all those things just to lead him and his people to freedom. What made you want to bring that story to life?
Well, it was funny because there's somebody who works at Legion M, one of the producers over there, this guy Dave Baxter, who I went to high school with. He calls me up and he says, "Hey, we got this. Somebody had sent in a meme. There was a lot of interest at Legion M to make it. One of their members had actually written a screenplay, Robert Whitehill, and he wanted me to take a look at it." And I said, "Okay, I'm embarrassed that I don't know this story already, and second, it really needs, to be told in an epic way. If you don't mind, I'd like to kind of take it over and run it, run the rest of the play myself." And so that was it. For me, I just thought, I'm so inspired by it. I'm sure other people are going to be inspired by it. I have two sons, and whatever. I know that they would love hearing a story like this, and it's good to see that playing out.
That's beautiful. So I hear that there's a movie coming in the works. Is it an animated movie, a live action? What can you tell us about it?
We are hoping for a movie. That's all I can say now.
That's all you can say?
What's good is that when we did the graphic novel, I actually talked to Dennis Cohen, the legendary Dennis Cohen, and I said, "What artist should I work with?" And he gave me a list of guys. All the people that I called said yes. When can I start? Let's go. And the same thing is happening with a movie, where actors are coming to us, directors are coming to us, a lot of people are coming to us, wanting to help us tell the story.
That's powerful.
So it is. I don't want to say it's feeling inevitable, but it is. We're moving in a really good direction.
That's awesome.
And so hopefully we'll be making big announcements pretty soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last question for you.
Yep.
With you bringing a lot of black stories to life, like Princess the Frog, with her being the first black princess, Captain America being our first black Captain America, and now this Robert Smalls stories. Can we expect any more projects? For me personally, I would like to know if there are any more historic black figures that you would bring to life that we should know about, like history don't really talk about,
right?
What us as people should know.
Well, this area of American history is really rich with those characters. Reconstruction was amazing. Out of nowhere, out of slavery, people became doctors, lawyers, millionaires, businessmen, congressmen, through this. And all of those stories are worth telling. So I hope that we get to almost do it like a Yellowstone kind of thing, where we can tell all of them in context. People don't know that Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass had dinner with Robert Smalls.
Oh, damn.
There were famous people in history that were married in his house. And so there are stories inside of the stories. The more it's like an onion, the more you kind of peel back, the more
layers.
You find this is all amazing, right? So I'd love to tell all of those stories. Hopefully I'll get a chance.
That's amazing. Well, thank you, and thank you.
All
It was a lovely meeting you, Mr. Rob. So for the audience, please.
Absolutely. I'm Chris Cooper. I'm a producer on Defiant, the graphic novel, as well as Defiant, the film in development.
So, Mr. Chris, how did you come about coming along on this project to tell the story of Robert Smalls?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. So I've been with Legion M for almost 5 years now. I came in as a marketing team member for Legion M for some of the big projects like Mandy, the William Shatner, you can call me Bill. So I've been part of the team for a while, but this particular script came across my desk and I decided to take a more active role, and so I put my my toe in the waters of producing. And so it's been about a 3.5-year journey on this film, going from an idea that came out of the Legion M community to a full-blown graphic novel and to a film that's now in development for a big budget, big screen Hollywood film.
So, with the story so impactful and historic, what is the main message you want us as consumers to take away from it?
I think the main message is that a lot of times history can come across as boring. History can come across as maybe it's for others. And so the main message I would say is that Robert Smalls defied all logical circumstances around him.
Indeed.
But he was a defiant person. That's where it comes from, because he defied the systems, the lanes, the boxes that he was put in, from an enslaved person to a war hero to a congressman to starting the first public schools. And so there's no reason that we can't all take something from that. So I'd say to take away from his story that this is not Black history, this is American history. And it is also Black history, but this is all of our shared history. And it's important that we take away that, you don't have to be defined by your circumstances.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, with you saying that this is a new platform to express historic events, what made y'all go through a comic book first instead of taking a traditional route of doing a docuseries or something like that?
Yeah. So when we first brought this idea forward, it was actually as a movie script. So we kind of shopped it around Hollywood a little bit at the time, and a lot of the A-list, especially Black directors who saw the script initially, didn't really want to get involved in it was much about the heist, but it was also heavy into the aspect of being an enslaved person.
I got you.
And I think there was until Emancipation came out, which there was a kind of a fear to touch that subject matter at the time. I mean, you have to remember, you had at the time when this first came out, you had shows like Insecure, you had Black Lightning, you had lots of things happening within our community that were people. And so the idea of putting that on pause and going to this type of story at first didn't make sense for a lot of directors. So what we did was, when we brought in Rob with his experience with writing Princess and the Frog and Treasure Planet, Living Color, all that stuff, first thing he said was, we need to create an audience for this that shows his humanity as a person and focus on why he would do what he is doing. Let's make a graphic novel.
That's beautiful.
So then when we made the graphic novel, that is when all of the momentum came back from Hollywood. And so now they're knocking on our doors. I've spoken with your favorite actors and actresses, your favorite directors, who have said, when it's my turn to get in line to be a part of this project, this is why I want to be a part of it. And it's always for the same reason. The reason is because they're blown away that they didn't know nothing about this story. They're blown away that this story was news to them.
Swept on the rug.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always the same story.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I have another question.
Yeah.
So I talked to you guys here at WonderCon a couple months back, and there was a talk of movie being in production. Now that we're here, y'all announcing a movie. Can you tell us if it's going to be an animated, a live action?
Oh, it's
Can you give us a little
So
details?
the movie has always kind of been in development, and we're speaking with director about this project whose focus is more on live action, and so that's the direction that we're going. So we're not announcing anything yet because we're still in that process. but that is where we're headed with this project, 100%.
Awesome.
And like I said, there's a director that we're speaking to. There are several others who are like in the queue. And we're just trying to do whatever we can because we all feel like this is part of our mission now. Like I don't think I can end my own life without seeing this project through. I think I got to see this while I'm here too. So it's attached to me now forever. So it's going to happen one way or another. Yeah, we're going to make this happen. Yeah.
Well, I thank you, and as a big fan, you always got my support, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Absolutely.
Well,
It's been my
you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
So, Mr. Marvin, what is your role to the Defiant project?
I'm one of the producers. I'm an executive producer of the project.
Okay, and what brought you on? With me knowing you being part of the first Black family, Black Lightning, voicing in the first Black Miles Morales Spider-Man film, Tombstone. What brought you to be a part of Robert Small's story? To me, I would consider him a Black superhero.
And I appreciate you saying that, brother, because Robert Smalls is a true American superhero, a real life superhero. Well, a friend of mine, Chris Cooper, who's also a producer on the project, was already on the project, working at Legion M at the time, still working at Legion M. And one of my big brothers and mentors, Bill Duke, were already working on this. And they brought it to my attention. I was still doing Black Lightning at the time, and they brought it to my attention, asked me to read it. At first, I thought they wanted me to act in it. Didn't know, and I was kind of ashamed that I didn't know the story. And I'm even asking, "Is this true? This really happened?" And did my homework on my own. Found out that it was true. Found out that it did miss me as far as my wheelhouse and my think tank and resource of information, and I was blown away by that. And the more I learned about Robert Smalls, the more I understood that whatever I was to do with the project, I need to be a part of this and be a part of getting the story told and getting it out there. More so than trying to be in front of the camera and get seen via the project, because I'm seen all the time. So this story is so important, and it's a shame that people don't know it. It's a wrong in American history that it's not told already.
Right.
And I want to be a part of righting that wrong and bringing the story to the forefront. So here we are now. We're years from that, and now we got a graphic novel that's selling out everywhere. It's the talk of those that know. #1 on Amazon, and we're every day working in developing the film. We're completely film focused at this point.
Awesome.
Like the book is out, you can go buy the book, you can get the book, but now our thing is the film.
Okay. So my question is for you. What do you want us as consumers to take away from this story? Because he's a man of he's done many things. He led his people to freedom. He became a Navy officer. He's made it to where Black men can serve in the military. He's the reason why we have public schools. Like he's done so many things. Yes. So what is the message you want us to get from this story? And not to mention that man he has sympathy because
you know what he did.
Later in life, for his slave master's wife to come back to the same house he was enslaved in, because that's the only address she knew. He took her in and took care of her till she died. What is the message you want us to? Because there's many messages we can take away from the story. But
hats off to you, brother, for knowing the story. You know the story better than me.
I'm a big fan.
You know the story better than me.
Y'all shed the light to me.
I love that.
I had to dive deep into it.
I love you for that, bro. It's 3 words to me that if Robert Smalls was a brand, you say, well, what does this brand represent? Because to me, he is a brand. He's a brand. He's a Black. And perseverance. I want people to walk away with the idea that you are not what they say you are. He knew that without knowing how to read, without knowing where he came from, without, you know what I mean? He knew that. How did he know that in his mind and in his heart, in his spirit, right? So I think God gave him that. First off, if we want to be specific, me and you, we talking here, right?
Right.
But the thing that we can take from him to answer your question is, wait a minute. So with patience, I can do anything, because he had to be patient, bro.
Yep.
To go through what he went through as a slave, try to buy his freedom, get denied that, figure out another plan, like all
Learning
of that.
all the call signs to navigate through the waters.
He had to be patient.
Yes.
He had to be persistent, right? Not give up.
Yep.
No matter what they said, who they said, where they said, why they said, no. And then ultimately, he had to persevere. And this is after he became congressman, and after he, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had to persevere. And I think his ultimate the showmanship of his perseverance is when he took his slave master's wife in, right? Because he did not live in what they did. That was going to be in his
heart. Yep. He still had that. He carried that love and compassion in his heart till the end.
Right.
Yep.
So there you go.
Thank you.
He knows the story better than me.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, it's all
well, that's
good.
all the time I have for you today.
Thank you,
but
brother.
Thank you. I
Tell me your name
appreciate
again, brother.
Dante. All right, guys, that's it. We just got done talking to Legion M about the Robert Smalls Defiant story. Go get you a copy. You just can't get this one because this is San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that I bought myself. And I hope you're jealous because I got it signed too. But make sure you go get the book. Please read and do your research on Robert Smalls. And stay tuned for the future movie. I'm Dante Miller. That's my entertainment. What's yours?